Hey up my ducks, I'm Aaron reporting for CoasterGen and welcome to episode 7 of Dark Ride Ducks Quack. Today we're going to be speaking about, a bit off centre, but there you go, the dungeons. Oh Aaron, it's not even a dark ride. But Aaron, it's not even a ride. Yeah, it's my show, I can do what I want. So let me know what your thoughts and experience are with the dungeons. Let's have a conversation in the comments. The dungeons I have been through, first of all, if you don't know, there's going to be spoilers, you know there is. But if you don't know been through the dungeons, then I'll tell you what they are. So, the dungeons are an immersive actor-led experience which lets you delve a little bit into the history of the local area where they're from and does it in a bit of a horrific, funny way. So it uses tales from local areas, gives them a bit of a twist, makes them horrifying and funny at the same time. All the dungeons in the UK, I'm sure in other countries as well, but I haven't been to any, have their basic rota, if you like, of scenes, and you go through scenes and each one's a different tale. It's all very exciting. But I have done, let me count these off, I've done York Dungeon, Blackpool Tower Dungeon, Alton Towers Dungeon, London Dungeon, and Warwick Castle Dungeon. Is that all of them? Yes, I think so. I think that's all of them. I haven't done the Edinburgh one anyway. I've done all of them in the UK except for the Edinburgh Dungeon. All very good in their own rights, but that each of them have different little spins as well. Some of them are more similar than others. My most recent one was only a couple of weeks ago at Warwick Castle. Now, I hadn't been to that one for a long, forever really, so a long time. It was my first visit to Warwick Castle. I'm not feeling too great today, so bear with me. And I managed to do the dungeon, and to be fair, that one was very good. It uses the actual castle itself, like in the walls and the rooms, which makes it a lot smaller and more claustrophobic. So in turn it makes it scary, even though nothing major happens in that one. You haven't got a ride at the end like you have on a lot of the others or in the middle. It's just very basic, but it's done very, very well. And then the Alton Towers one, you've got the Black River boat ride. You have different rides in different ones. Ones what simulate hanging, ones that go into like vehicles for a ride. Some of them have more up to date, like 4DX chairs where you sit in and tell you a story. It sounds like they're walking around you, a bit like my chair, and they're whispering in your ear like that, or poking you in the back. It's been a while. Or blowing air cannons at your face or something, or a sense, and that's all very, very good for immersion. I'm gonna love it. But Warwick Castle was a smaller setting, but that's what made it. Shut up, please. No pussies in my room. Thank you. That's what made it better than some of the other ones I've done, I think, because it is so small. Because of that reason, when they're doing the little actor spiel and telling you the tales, they're telling you in their little rooms, they are like there. And have an actor like there in character fully and looking you directly in the eyes is a whole different experience to someone who's over the other side of the room. So I loved Warwick. You've got scenes like the Torturer, you've got the Plague Doctor, which you'll find in every dungeon it seems at the minute. But they are slightly different. I'd say, like for instance, the Plague Doctor scene at Alton Towers is probably for me the weakest one in the dungeons. That's just because you've got a massive room, you've got a scene in front of you, seating here, but then they've just got black curtain and you can see it, so it's not very immersive. For that reason, it kind of loses a bit of the immersion. Whereas Warwick Castle, you're in this little tiny room, and I've never been so close to like the actual doctor, spoilers again, who's dead on the table. You're like literally there, and the guy's like there in your face, which is funny because like the main notable difference, except for how close it is that you don't sit down in there, the Warwick one, and they don't squirt any water at you because you are so close. Again, spoilers, but that makes it such a great experience, and I'm so glad I actually did the Warwick Castle one. I didn't know if I was going to do it or not because my anxiety was high that day. But I made myself go. I pushed, and when I got there, I thought, "Oh, I'll buy the ticket." I bought the ticket for the first showing within a couple of minutes of it, them going in, and just did it and done. And I'm glad I did. I'd have to say, what was my first dungeons I ever did? Oh goodness, I'm trying to think really. Maybe it was the old London one. I'm sure I never did the old London one because London's changed venues, but I may have done that one. Other than that, it may have been the York one, to be honest. That might have been the first one I did. Or the Blackpool Tower. Actually, no, I did Blackpool Tower dungeon a long time ago. I think that was the first one, and that's changed over the years. It's been there as well. But I've noticed that, you notice in the scenes at the endings, like a few of them have similar scenes, but done slightly differently, with a witchly, ghostly tale, and you see the witchly, ghostly thing, and things go blah 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 off the walls and stuff like that. But no, that Blackpool Tower one's good. The last time I went, I was the first group in. It seemed like they were in a bit of a rush to open. And it wasn't as good as it could have been. I feel as well that some of them you go through like a mirror maze section, and that isn't done to a high standard, I don't think. I think when they first brought that in, it was done very well, but now they don't really give it the time or have the time to actually make you get lost. It's kind of go in, you wander in a circle, and they open the door and go, "What are you doing?" Rather than giving you time to just get lost and have that fear build. But yeah, apart from that, I love the dungeons. It is a very fun, immersive, sometimes scary attraction. And for me, even though it's not a dark ride, technically there are ride elements in some of them, and just for the immersion alone, it's well worth doing that. It's hard to categorise the dungeons sometimes, but I would put them with the dark rides. Very immersive, very lovely dark ride. Maybe but you got to use your legs, so it's like a gym / a dark ride. Even better. Let me know your thoughts on them. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe. I'm sure you already have though. Goodbye. Thank you.